Hello and welcome to Any Given Sunday's Scripted Saturday. I'm your host, Coop, and today I'm going to be discussing my predictions for this upcoming NFL season's divisional standings. We're doing the AFC today, still going north, east, south, west. Let's get right into it with the first place Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson is on pace to be one of the best regular season quarterbacks ever. It took Peyton Manning 9 years and two MVPs before he finally won a Super Bowl and got the postseason monkey off his back. And entering year 8 with two MVPs of his own, Lamar still has time in his career to end up in the conversation of one of the very best to ever do it. Derrick Henry should help for the second year in a row, but it's unclear how much the 31-year-old has left in the tank. He's coming off an incredible season, one even more impressive than Barkley's in some ways. Henry still came only 89 yards short of 2,000 despite his age, and may very well do so again this year. Baltimore is well set on both sides of the ball. Their defense is very good, especially with the addition of Jair Alexander. But you have to cash in soon. You don't have much time left with Henry, with Alexander, with Marlon Humphrey's prime. You have to cash in maybe this year in order to achieve the potential that you really should have hit a couple of years ago. In second place, I have the Bengals. Joe Burrow might be the modern day Drew Brees if he keeps putting up seasons like that and failing to make the playoffs. I love the Bengals' potential. We all know what they can do offensively, but I have to be honest, I'll believe it when I see it. It kind of seems like they drafted Shamar Stewart to gain leverage over Trey Hendrickson's contract, which worked spectacularly with neither one of them. This was one of the worst defenses in the league last year. And while the addition of Stewart, whom I had a second round grade on, should help that depends entirely on whether or not he plays. The offensive potential of this team is limitless, but the defense has to be startable for them to be contenders. And shedding Jermaine Pratt just makes me think that the front office doesn't care. In third place, I have the Steelers. Signing Aaron Rodgers is probably what's going to do in this Steelers regime. I'm not saying that they're going to get fired. That's not really the Steelers style, but I wouldn't expect contract extensions for Tomlin or Khan. Steelers haven't won a playoff game in nearly a decade, and adding geriatric Aaron Rodgers to start over Mason Rudolph is not going to help them. Poor TJ Watt is going to have his entire prime career wasted and ruined by this Steelers front office because of their incompetence. Drawing the line at head case receivers with George Pickens right after pairing him with someone who could have maximized his talents is also a baffling move. And for Steelers fans' sake, I really hope that this current regime does not survive past its current contract. Only a few more years, guys. In fourth place, I have the Browns. There's 5 quarterbacks on this roster, and the most startable one is Kenny Pickett. Ask Pittsburgh how that went. Obviously, it remains to be seen how the rookies will perform, but this is also Cleveland we're talking about. Kevin Stefanski is a great head coach who has been unfortunately saddled with Deshaun Watson instead of prime Baker Mayfield. The Browns' defense has been great and should continue to be so, with Garrett, Koromoa, and Williams leading the charge at all 3 levels, but that's only if the offense can produce. There's almost no way this team can make the playoffs to me, unless Dylan Gabriel or Shadur Sanders turn into the second coming of Jesus Christ. Given the low likelihood of that, I feel pretty confident saying this team is not going to make the playoffs. Now for the divisional wrap up. The AFC North is incredibly talented from top to bottom. I know I dogged on the Browns pretty hard, but maybe they'll surprise me and end up with a decent year. The Ravens will go as far as Lamar and Henry will take them, but make no mistake, this team has a time limit that is rapidly coming to an end. If you merged the Bengals and the Steelers, you'd have one of the best teams in the league on paper, but I don't know which part of those coaching staffs get taken with them, and both staffs have their problems. Both of those teams seem destined to go as far as their weaker unit will take them. Only time will tell how far that is. In first place in the East, I have the Bills. Josh Allen exists. Need I say more? This team is going to be great. We all know that. This offense is going to be great for as long as Josh Allen is alive and functioning and healthy. The defense should continue to be solid. And the Bills are going to dominate this division in the same way the Patriots did in the 2000s and the 2010s. We all knew all of that already. They're poised for another deep playoff run. They're going to be great. We know that. Let's get on to the hot takes, shall we? In second place, I have the Jets. I know what this looks like, all right? The kid from North Jersey thinks the Giants and the Jets are going to be better than expected. Give me a break. This one might be even more of a leap than the Giants take because it requires trusting Justin Fields. But hear me out. I know he can barely read a defense, but who could possibly fuck up this offense? Again, Fields is certainly better than Zach Wilson was, and Rodgers was a complete and utter disaster. It's really hard to imagine Fields being worse than that, so we may as well be hopeful. I don't think Fields is going to throw for 4,000 yards. I've given up on that, but throwing to Garrett Wilson and Alan Lazard, with the addition of being able to run RPOs and read options and triple options, it's just going to add a dimension to this offense that we haven't seen before. I think the Jets could be a playoff team, though I think the odds of that are even of winning a playoff game are fairly low. That being said, the Jets belong in second just because of their defense and the added relevance that the offense will hopefully bring them. Head coach Aaron Glenn should be interesting to watch, and I honestly just can't wait for this season of the Jets. Oh God, what have I become? In third place, I have the Patriots. This is probably also a hot take, but remember that I'm judging these teams on how holistically talented they are. The Patriots' revamped offense looks to be a legit threat with the addition of Stephon Diggs and the continued development of Pop Douglas. The running back room is concerning to me, even more so than Dallas's. But this is a team that could make some real waves due to the lack of expectations that they have. Drake May is legit talented, and he's still incredibly young, which is a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing because he's got more time than the average second-year player, but the curse is that he's got less experience as well. New England may soon return to former glory, or they may still be stuck in Belichick's shadow. In fourth, I have the Dolphins. I have no idea how to project this team for the future. Major losses at a ton of positions, questions about Tua's efficacy in the cold, questions about McDaniel's ability as an actual head coach instead of an offensive play caller, not to mention the defensive coordinator that they ran out of town after just a single season. He built an all-pro linebacker and won a Super Bowl the very next year. The Dolphins, enough said. This is a team that's very hard to feel confident in going into 2025. And while I think if everything breaks their way, they could still be a playoff team, it's going to take a lot for them to get there. I'm going to out myself here a little bit. It's still the same day. I didn't straight up forget to record a segment, but I did forget to write a divisional wrap up for the AFC. So I just did that after filming and transferring all of those files. So now the divisional wrap up. 3 of the teams in this division have units on one or both sides of the ball that inspire confidence, that leave me thinking, yeah, that unit could carry this team to the playoffs. The Bills are the only sure thing in the division to me. Of course, we know how good the offense is. We know how good the defense is probably going to be. They have a head coach talented enough to overcome adversity. We know that. The Bills are a good football team, good organization top to bottom. The Patriots offense and the Jets defense also inspire me. I think the Pats offense is good enough that it could get them into the playoffs by itself, on paper, of course. And the Jets defense is good enough that on paper it could get them into the playoffs on its own. The Dolphins obviously are left as the odd man out here. The offense could be good enough under the right circumstances to make sure that everything is going to go their way, right? If Tyreek Hill goes for almost 2,000 again, if Jalen Waddle goes for over 1,000 yards, if I forgot his name, Devon Achane goes for over 1,000 yards on the ground, if the Dolphins get to avoid playing in 40-degree weather, they're going to be fine. They had such a bad offseason. They shed so many players, so many positions of importance. It's hard for me to see the Dolphins making the playoffs. They could under the right circumstances, unlike the Saints and the Browns. But man, did that team waste its shot. In first place in the South, I have the Texans. This really shouldn't surprise anything. Houston is far and away the most talented team in this division, with one major glaring weakness. Their offensive line is atrocious on paper. I mean, you take a unit that was bottom 10 in the league, you shed 2 starters from it, 2 quality starters from it, and you expect me to believe that it got better? I trust Cam Robinson and Titus Howard just fine, but if this O-line doesn't improve, this team's in for a hell of a year. I wouldn't even count on a weak division to grant them the title by default like it did last year. The return of Nico Collins, undoubtedly one of the top 10 receivers in the NFL, alongside Tank Dell, should help Stroud, assuming he's not dead by this time next year. Houston did win a playoff game last year, even with their atrocious O-line, and that shouldn't be ignored. Maybe this year they'll finally get past the divisional round and make it to the AFC Championship game, or even the Super Bowl for the first time in franchise history. In second place, I have the Jaguars. If I can be honest, the teams in the South are kind of ranked based on how much I trust their quarterbacks. I can't shake the feeling that we haven't seen the most of Lawrence yet. We haven't seen the best of him. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm still holding out hope on Fields as well. Maybe I'm wrong about both. Maybe both have been held down by subpar offensive play callers. I don't know. The addition of Travis Hunter on both sides of the ball feels like the Jags organization looking at Lawrence on the one side and saying, get it done. I wouldn't be terribly surprised if the Jags traded Lawrence or tried to trade him if they failed to make the playoffs again. At a time when quarterbacks' leashes are shorter than ever, Lawrence has been given a lot of time. He's now on his third head coach in the NFL. I can't imagine him making it to a fourth. Liam Cohen is an interesting head coaching prospect to me, but let's hope he's better at rallying the troops than he is at saying
Duval.
In third place, I have the Titans. The statement that I'm ranking these teams based on how much I trust their quarterback stands. Ward has not thrown a pass in the NFL. He has not done anything. And I still trust him more than whoever the Colts throw out there to die in week one. I have no idea how Pollard, Ridley, or the rest of the Tennessee supporting cast are going to do, but I do know that if Ward shows consistent accuracy from the start, he's going to be a better option for Brian Callahan than any of the Colts' potential starting quarterbacks are for Shane Steichen. If Ward flashes brilliance right away, this team could even make the playoffs, but only if everything goes right. In fourth place, I have the Colts. This team, as it has for the last 2 years, goes as far as Richardson will take them. Daniel Jones is a terrible starting quarterback, and if he's out there week one, I'm writing this team off. Now, I will admit, very selfishly, I'm rooting against the Colts this year. I'd love to have Shane Steichen back as an offensive coordinator in Philly for more than a couple of years. If Richardson can finally tap into even 2/3 of the quarterback that he could be based on his potential, the sky is the limit for Indianapolis. Unfortunately, I fear we probably know who Richardson is. It's not Josh Allen. Now, if I were Anthony Richardson, and this were my last season with the Colts, and I was looking to revive my NFL career, I might look at the one guy who managed to revive 3 quarterback careers over the last 3 years. I might go to Carolina, pair myself up with Dave Canales, see if he could fix my mechanics. In the meantime, I can't wait to welcome Shane Steichen back with open arms next year. Now the divisional wrap-up. The AFC South feels like a division stuck in time. Things haven't really changed the last couple of years. And despite a new coach in Jacksonville to revitalize that team, this is one of the chalkier divisions in the NFL. The Texans are good. The Colts are bad. While I think all 4 of these teams could theoretically make the playoffs, I think the far more likely option is what we saw last year. One team barely squeaks into the playoffs, and the other 3 are left with their dick in their hands, wondering what the hell happened. In first place in the West, I have the Chiefs. There's no surprises here. This team has been in 4 of the last 5 Super Bowls, going 2-2 in that span. Mahomes has never even fallen short of the AFC Championship game. He may not be the same explosive player that he was, but between Rice, Worthy, Brown, and Pacheco, this offense is going to be fine for years to come. I can't imagine that kind of loss is going to sit well with Mahomes and Reed. This team is going to be dominant with a great defense and a likely improved offense. And there's nothing you can do about it. Just prepare. In second place, I have the Broncos. I love the potential of this Broncos team. One of the most consistently underrated defenses in the league with stars at all 3 levels, if not superstars at all 3 levels. Combine that with an offense that looks poised to take the next step on paper, and you could have a team which already made the playoffs last year going farther than they have in a long, long time. Maybe this year, finally, the ride will end. In third place, I have the Raiders. Geno Smith, Ashton Jeanty, and Jermaine Pratt all make this team better. Combine that with the things that they already did well, like Jacoby Myers and Brock Bowers, and This is a team that's well set for success for a few years to come. The move to Vegas has been disastrous so far, but for all we know, the Raiders could start doing something they haven't done since the 80s. Just win, baby. In fourth place, I have the Chargers. This is going to surprise some people given the Chargers were a playoff team last year, but I think their running back room got worse and they failed to address their core need at receiver. The defense probably got worse as well, losing Joey Bosa, but I can't say how much of an impact that'll actually have. Justin Herbert is a good, not great quarterback to me. Someone who flashed MVP potential as a rookie and has failed to live up to that mark ever since. A 4 interception playoff mark against a team that effectively won their division by default has to hurt for Herbert, and especially for Harbaugh, who seems more set than ever in his run the ball mentality. I find it hard to have hope for this team, but that's not to say that they couldn't make the playoffs or even win a playoff game. You need a big leap from McConkey if you want to have any chance against teams with a good run defense like Kansas City or Denver. I know I shouldn't bet against Harbaugh, but this team feels like it's set up for a lot less success than it was last year. Now the divisional wrap up. The West has 4 potential playoff teams to me, like 5 of the other 7 divisions in the league. But I'm not sure if more than 2 of them are going to make the playoffs. The Chiefs are going to fluke their way to a million wins by talent and coaching and luck, both manufactured and gifted. And everyone else is going to play second fiddle to Kansas City until Mahomes dies. Until I'm proven wrong, I'm not going to project anything any differently. Same deal as last time for the playoff projections. Just keep an open mind while I'm going through this. Just because I don't have a team listed here doesn't mean I don't think they're going to make the playoffs or that I don't think they could make the playoffs. It's just there's only 7 slots and there's 15 talented teams in this division. In the 1 seed, I have the Bills. Josh Allen is great. This team's going to hit the ground running. They're bitter. They're pissed off after another conference championship loss. And I think that while they're probably the second most talented team in the AFC behind the Ravens, Buffalo's just going to be playing with a larger chip on their shoulder. At the 2 seed, I have Kansas City. I'm not going to bet against them. I'm not putting them any lower than number 2. Even though I think they're less talented than both the Bills and the Ravens, they're going to find a way to win 13, 14, 15 games this year. I have Baltimore at the 3 spot. I know that that's probably weird to have the team that I think is the most talented be at the 3 slot, but we're at a point with Baltimore where they started slow last year and they've had their struggles, and I just need to see it to believe it for them to be the 1 seed or even make it to the Super Bowl. For the 4 seed, I have the Texans. They're going to make the playoffs. Stroud proved that a bad offensive line wasn't enough to hold them down last year, and with an improved defense and improved health on offense, they should only continue to get better. Houston is far and away the best team in that division, and they're going to make the playoffs this year. At the 5, 6, and 7, I have the Broncos, Jags, and Jets. You could exchange these 3 teams with anyone else. I mean, other than the 4 division winners, there's 9 teams that I feel like you could slot into the 3 wildcard spots, and I wouldn't even bat an eye. You can tell me the other 3 AFC East teams are here, the other 3 AFC West teams are here. Would not doubt you for 1 second. If you enjoyed this video, it would mean the world to me if you'd subscribe. We've got plenty of content coming out for the rest of the NFL offseason, and especially once the season starts. If you feel like I ranked your team too low or your rival too high, make sure to wage a war in the comments. Just really rip into me. Make it hurt. Other than that, guys, we'll see you next week, and I hope you have a great rest of your Saturday.